communist. I talked to the dead man. And he told me communist this one.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells.
The white
dried
flowers!
Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Yes.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinaise have you seen them.
Except this island.
Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up. You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe
Yes.
don't beat yourself anymore. Nothing else comes up. You see the lieutenant watch you. Try to stimulate thought processes by hitting yourself.
Officer, a word?
Excuse us for a moment, Mr. Dross.
I think we may have this.
What? Do you think he did it?
From nothing to this in a day. This is good, Lieutenant Gefreiter. We just need a confession first, and then maybe a solid motive later.
I'm trying to get him to
Yes,
confess.
good going. That should be our first priority.
Alright, let's do
Remember.
this.
There is palpable excitement in his tone. He likes him for this. A lot. But there's something more, too. He thinks the deserter has more than just this case in him. 44 years here.
You think he has more than this case?
Oh, yes. And he hasn't spoken to anybody in a long time. If we get him open, who knows what will pour out.
Alright, cool. Let's talk to the guy again.
Minions of capital. What do you want?
One more time.
Petty bourgeois.
A drop of... That's right. Pile it all on him now.
I wonder what
Three
brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Dross.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his
The
feet.
maker is called Sansarique, and the size is 42 to 44. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however,
I wonder
seem
if
to
he
be
has
about
any
the
more
same
shoes.
size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
So,
Yes.
he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead folk.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge.
He's like, I'm on
The
it.
prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these anywhere else.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilized them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it. The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A young woman named Clausia. Ring any bells?
Last year.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yeah. You hadn't heard her name, had you?
My ears don't reach the city.
But she did have intimate relations with the victim.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch, a spasm.
Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him.
Stupid twat.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes. Not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism.
Alright, he's
Your
making
brain
fun of
is
us.
He does not answer the prophet, but still, somehow you knew it was a communist.
How?
Perhaps you suspected it before you took the case. The vision was you remembering that.
But this
Was
did
it
nothing.
supposed to? No, there is more here.
Standing there. You're lost, twat. You're lost.
Those words, the future teaches
Real
you.
music. It's La Révacholière, you shit-licking bougie dog. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
Marching song.
There you go. One of three. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favorites of history. And in Signal, it was...
We can see how thrilled
some
he is with
Samaran
these
shit,
people.
I guess.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Inspect
the
it
rifle's
closer.
in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46 millimeter, made in Sinyao. The old man keeps following your motion with this looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him later.
Alright, you're under the arrest.
Is what you plan to say. Before you can get past, you're under. The lieutenant interrupts you.
Officer, are we sure? We could maybe get more.
The old man looked. You startled him.
I don't have
Maybe
anything.
it was a silence. He quickly gathered. For a 60-year-old man, he's prone to erratic hand gestures and clearly malnourished. But that's it. You can see no more by looking at his slouched frame. The moment passes, and you say,
What? But
We're
you said
arresting
I would
him.
be taken to the...
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But
Do you
No.
understand?
I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror.
he's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat. Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here.
But then, who watches him while you're coming back here?
Who watches him there while I come back
You
for
come
you?
back for me? How about I go and send a boat back for you?
What is this farce? This is a fucking farce. I can't.
Lillian. You could ask her, maybe.
Maybe I could just ask the net picker to watch him.
This is no harmless old man.
This fucking world.
No, listen. Listen now.
You could come back for me once you've taken him to the precinct.
No, it would take a whole day on this island. You go and transport the prisoner. I'll be here. I can escort him to the pier with you.
No need to be polite. I'll do
This
it.
world. What are you talking about? Is this us?
The wind is cold from the east. Your skin is crawling suddenly.
What's going on? Oh!
delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reef.
What is
What
that?
are you talking about?
The giant stick
There's
insect.
nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3
Oh my
meters
god.
tall. It looks
Oh
straight
my god.
at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
There it is. I see
Tell
it.
me what you see, damn it. I
Kim.
can't make out one small thing in the
Kim, can you see it?
I can see it.
Kim can see it.
4 simple words. Thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence.
Oh my gosh.
Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from his head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more
Oh my
than
gosh.
5 steps.
Oh my
away from
gosh.
you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning
This
after
is-
the tape breaks.
This is the Insolendian Phasmid.
It is.
The lieutenant whispers behind you. You hear the familiar ring of his jacket unzipping, slowly, painstakingly
You
so.
glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open extremely carefully. It's the camera.
Are you sure you won't scare it off?
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
He continues to pull the lens
From
open.
the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the Phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ear,
Okay, take the
with
picture.
the sound of metal sliding against metal. The lieutenant reveals the lens. The glass glints in his hand as he begins to slide in an ampoule. You see the Phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. The motions are quick, sudden.
The ampoule will produce a loud hiss. You're right. It could scare it away. I need a better moment when it's not looking.
I'll wait. I'm on standby, you think. The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air. Nothing changes in the
All right.
cyclical
Oh.
growing motion
Oh.
of the creature's limbs. They are porcelain white on the inside and reed-colored on the out, beige, light brown, and striped. You are unsure if it is scared or not. Its insect mind is impenetrable to your reasoning.
We can't just leave it standing there.
You've never seen him get this excited. His voice
Yes.
is almost trembling. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the Phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness.
Oh my gosh.
Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. You reek of it, your chemicals. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air.
Smelling us. Look at
It's
it.
smelling you. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking
Okay, Kim.
up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs.
Take the picture.
Okay.
With the slow ring of metal, the lieutenant slides the lens open and raises it to eye
There is
level.
no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the
Bam!
camera cuts the air.
Woo!
The Phasmid
Check out that
freezes
shot!
in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
I got it.
You hear the lieutenant whisper as the creature's shape develops onto photo paper in his hand. A polychrome ghost of white streaks against the reeds in the sky, and you as a shadow before it.
Immortalized.
That thing's gonna bite me. We're
The
gonna do it anyway.
antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the kiting curls into a spiral. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end of the whisker, like a young vine. It's even a bit wet.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Feels like nothing. The anthropod in front of you stays frozen. A shudder pulses through
We got
the
it.
creature's
We got
limbs.
it.
It jolts back to life, like a record continuing, where something stirs in the insect as you begin to back off. It seems to also take a step back. Something tells you the next time you engage and disengage, it will probably flee. The arthropod follows you with its antennae. As you back off, the cracks and hisses of the tape that's come to its end grow more distant.
Oh my god. Oh! Investigate the insect until it's no longer there. Okay.
Hissing and clicking, the arthropod.
It's smelling
it
me.
is real. The pheromone.
The insect's head is crowned with reed-like
We gotta
scales,
keep bothering
the
it.
shape of seed heads. They rustle as the air moves. The ventricles at its abdomen continue expanding, like lunglets, breathing you in. Your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence.
Raise your other
As
hand.
you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind.
I feel like
of
this
its
thing
own.
is gonna attack
They
us.
are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you. Sets of complex eyes follow you, droplets of dew on either side of the head. No
I am
reply.
Harry.
A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes and look more
You were
closely.
right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before, like burnt roses.
Kim, it's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one,
No.
letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
Tell me what you were doing.
I exist.
Oh my god, we're talking to it. I
Tell
exist
me
too.
what it's like for you.
Fire
Fire? Where? I
inside.
do not have fire inside me. In me, there is not even blood, but lymph, like sap from a one palm. Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist,
Intruded upon?
shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations, a swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms, all speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never burn.
You're the kind of thing I want to be.
You sure?
Why do you? Oh.
Sometimes, when molting, I regrow a lost limb. One time something went wrong, and a small leg replaced a missing antenna.
Small
Yes.
leg?
The leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk.
You don't have a foot there
Yes.
now?
Thankfully, someone ate it. The next time I molded, I grew an antenna again.
I'm a
So
detective.
am I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
The killer.
He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am beneficial to him, but I am not. I only
Oh.
weaken his deterioration.
You're destroying
Very
him?
slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me for too long, and I am destroying him.
Is this a dream?
No, you are awake. I am real. Light is foaming me.
Where does this come from?
Not even the birds know that. Not even a water lily. You can also eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulandian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trashkins and boys. I went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain, also by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Seminoles Islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions
Crap.
until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Rebelshaw, district of Martinez, March 51.
That is insane.
No, you are. The moral of our encounter is I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile simian nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants.
What is
It
the
is a
pale?
marvelous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
I don't
The
have that kind of
revival
power.
An irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
How?
We suspect it would be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life to
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that
also very, very dangerous.
Kim, am I having a violent
It doesn't
epilepsy?
look like that, no.
Okay,
No.
good.
What's going on?
I think I'm having a vision.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
No.
I think you should back away from the unstudied species.
No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go.
What woman?
You cannot lie to me. Behind you, it smells of fires. So awfully far you were prepared to go in her presence. And it.
I will
She
try.
was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh!
And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water and something under it. In the place it stood, bobbing
Ooh!
among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
The lieutenant looks north with his hand raised to his brow. What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
You can walk on water?
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only...
What now?
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good.
Alright. I want whatever's in here, so let's go. Ooh. Ooh, evidence. Clausia's passport. And then we have Clausia's passport.
This passport, issued
Classia's hidden documents.
Alright, I will look at that later. Ooh. See, it's so hard to, like, make this do what I want it to do. Okay. Alright, let's check on the dude and arrest him.
What is it? What do you want from me? See.
Mr. Doros?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets.
Oh my
His
gosh.
toothed mouth shaking with fear and longing.
Touch his
plastic
shoulder.
cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction. He feels small and frail.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem. Doesn't it, Mr. Doros?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
He stares into the reeds. Nothing.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, Diab would
Yep.
put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up.
No reaction. His breathing is slow, and he...
Did you take this passport and other papers from the boat?
There.
He hears us.
No reply.
Try something else? We got him
Show
back
him
for
the
a moment.
detached scope.
I lost.
You lost it,
He
Mr.
turns
Dross?
his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid.
The lieutenant observes the lens sparkle in
This
your
sight
hand.
is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you... The plastic cape flaps around. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal. The strength has all gone out of him. Just frail old bones.
What has
Old
happened
age
to him?
and shock. The appearance of the phasmid in conjunction with the stress of the arrest. He spent his entire life here. For him to leave would be... We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Alright, cool. Alright. Let's, use the boat to return to the mainland. Okay. Alright, guys. That is going to be it for tonight. We went way over, but I was just so... I couldn't get enough. It was like one thing after another. Boom, boom, boom. So many things. We will be back tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern, more Disco Elysium. I honestly, like, I have no clue when this game is done. I know that we have a maximum of 10 days, I think, roughly, and we're on day 6. So, I mean, it can't go further than that. I just don't know exactly how many more hours we have, but we'll keep powering through. We did, if he's the killer, I mean, we found the killer, so I feel like there can't be that much more, but we'll see what happens. So hopefully you'll join me tomorrow night, 8 p.m., and yeah, have a great night, everyone. Bye.